What is going on, you guys? It's the Gemmy Fan here on Gemmy Master Animatronics, and today I'm going to show you something a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. But in my opinion, this is probably one of my favorite items out of my entire collection. It's not because it's not an animatronic, I know that, but it's what symbolizes all of it. And this is one of the main distributors for for a majority of the Gemmy items of early 2000s. And if you didn't get to experience KB Toy Outlet, or KB Toys, whatever you want to call it, as a kid, I'm so sorry to hear that, because this was a legendary store. Now, when I say legendary, I mean legendary. There has not been another store like this one. I'm on a chair right now, so there's not been another store like this one ever. KB Toy Outlet, I believe, started in 1924. It's an early production toy company, and they've been in production, or they had been in production as far as distribution centers goes, all the way up until around 2009 is when they shut their doors for good. Now, this sign I acquired off of an abandoned KB Toy Outlet. It was vacant property. I had seen the sign just sitting there on the door for about 5 or 6, actually no, more than a decade. So I just took it to my own hands to risk getting in trouble to get the sign down and take it home with me and clean it up and put it in my collection. And that's exactly what I did. And I don't regret a minute of it, because this thing is something that I'll never see again, and it symbolizes my childhood. Now, many of you that grew up in the late 90s, early 90s, even 80s, 70s, 60s, whatever, but mainly just as far as Gemmy items goes, many of you that grew up in the early 90s, mid-90s, and early 2000s remembers this store, because this is what distributed a majority of what we used to collect, or what used to be sold there as far as Gemmy animatronics. Now, they sold pretty much everything known to man. Halloween, Christmas, inflatables, pop culture series, everything that you could actually think of as far as novelties goes, and some of the most uncommon Gemmy items were distributed there. It was their main distribution center, along with Walmart, Toys R Us. They were also a good distributor of that as well, and they're still around, but KB Toys, unfortunately, is not. KB Toys is a huge part of my childhood, because, I mean, I started going to KB Toys from... Some of my earliest memories consist of that place, because we used to have one in our mall. I believe they opened in 1997 and they closed in 2008 or 9. They were one of the last locations. And I remember one of the things I got there for the most ridiculous reasons was a TMX Elmo. I don't know why I got one there, but I just did, and I really enjoyed it when they first came out. I got a lot of things there. I got a lot of inflatables. Like I got a SpongeBob on a birthday cake, a Cookie Monster guy. Some of those things are hard to find nowadays, but, back in the day I had access to those things. It was great. This sign is hard metal, solid steel, with the KB Toy Outlet, as you can see, stuck on there. And it's, I've never seen another sign like this. I mean, I'm sure they had some at, like, other distribution centers and stores and stuff like that back in the day, but most of those places have been torn down. But this did not come from my original KB Toys location. That KB Toys was unfortunately torn down, and I didn't know anything about it. It's pretty sad, but, just to give you a good example of what they even sold, it's just crazy. A majority of what you see in this room was distributed there. Like this mummy head, this wolf head, that was at KB Toys back then in 2000. Even the most random stuff like this is 2000. Big Head Frankensteins, Dancing Skeletons, those were at KB Toys at one point in time. Gorillas, my God, that's all that was at KB Toys from 99 to 2000 and even early 2001, depending how long these stuck around. Every single one of these guys. I'm not too sure about the Macho Man Gorillas, but a lot of the Gemmy ones, like the one that sing Hot 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 and Great Balls of Fire, those were sold there. Oh my God, Gemmy Dancing Hamsters, that's all, they have more of those than just about anything else. That's the main distribution center of these dancing hamsters was KB Toys. Turtle dancers, frogs, random Christmas items like this. That's all that was sold there. It was just a general novelty shop, and that's the problem, is that you don't see that anymore due to, online purchases, online distribution centers. It's really depressing to see that nowadays. People, You know, but, you know, the online industry has taken over, sadly, so people don't really want to go to a toy store anymore. Some people don't, not all of them. You know, things like this, pumpkin imposters, this tombstone, mummy greeter right there. That was this. I think these were like Toys R Us or something because it was Department 13 scareware. I mean, these guys right here, Alvin and the Chipmunks, saxophone reindeer, you name it, they pretty much had it. Douglas fir, they had those. The Santas, I mean, I'm not too sure about the Santas. I'm sure a couple of them were sold there at one point in time. A lot of the Halloween stuff was sold there. Let's see. Just about every single one of these pop culture characters was sold there. Large and the small ones. You know, these were like at Rite Aid and stuff like that. But this, you know, this right here is KB Toys. All KB Toys. Some were distributed at other places, I know. But, I mean, these were sold at KB Toys. This was at Spencer's. Probably KB Toys for some of those, Spencer's for some others. These came from KB Toys. I know that for a fact, because these came from Jordan. These were KB Toys right as well. All these Homer Simpsons, I have a very fond memory with these being at KB Toys. I actually remember, I think it was maybe 2002, my grandma took me and I saw the large dancing Homer Simpson. It was this one right here, and I practically begged her for it, but she didn't like it because she knew what The Simpsons was all about, and she didn't know what it said or did. But I think it was like 30-something bucks at the time. But yeah, I have fond memories of that too. Shrek, he was sold there. I remember seeing him, but I couldn't activate him because he wasn't out of his box, you know. Some of their Halloween stuff was sold there. Big Mouth Billy Bass, my God. These were JCPenney exclusives, but still. A lot of these were sold at KB Toys. This guy was. Louis Armstrong was. James Brown, especially James Brown. These were like this. That's where the pop culture series first emerged, was KB Toys. Not too sure about Porky Pig. D. Martins, Bing Crosby's. A majority that's, like I said, a majority that's in this room was distributed at KB Toys. That just tells you how much that store impacted Jimmy's distribution and success in the early days. And it's just, you know, it's really sad that this store isn't around anymore to entertain kids of all ages. It really, really is. But I'll never forget it. And for those of you that also experienced it as well, I'm sure that you'll never forget the memories that you had there. This is just a really special video, and I really, really hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.